Eric Osterhaus is here with us to talk markets. Thursday was one of those days where you threw everything at the markets news-wise. And then we had the big overnight sale of over 1.5 million metric tons of corn. And you couple that with a better than what was expected weekly export sales number. What does that set us up for going forward?
Well, it certainly brings a little optimism out there. I mean, there's a lot of discussions out there, especially in regards to corn, the fact that we have lagged our expectations for the year. Obviously, we've been running behind, but we've also been having some things in the background that we felt were friendly that just hadn't been able to come to the front yet. One of those being looking at what's going on down in Brazil. I mean, their local corn prices are all increasing fairly dramatically there, and a lot of the ideas behind that is they have to be gradually wearing their stocks down, using those up. And so again, that would be friendly for the U.S. here in the corn market, especially if we had anything happening on the export front in regards to Mexico and Japan, who we've seen a little bit of softness in our exports to them on corn, and maybe that would pick up as well. So maybe this is the first signs of starting to see that, in addition to anything that would go on with China.
Well, nonetheless, it's events like this that can break us out of the range. Let's face it, we have been, I think, pretty range bound in a lot of these commodities for quite some time, just waiting for something like a big news item to move us one way or the other.
That is true, and we stay in those ranges for a long time, and the technical traders really like that because they can trade those ranges. And when you see yourself break out of those ranges, usually it's because of one or two or three news events on the fundamental side that changes the tone of the market. And it's always important to know which side the big money is on, and corn as an example, they've been on the short side and adding to that short position until just recently. And so I guess if there's a bit of silver lining to them getting in on the short side is eventually they have to get out. And again, if we get a couple of these news events going, maybe that causes a quicker run for the door, let's say.
Do you think any big gains like a limit move would suddenly be sold off because of all of the farmer selling that would take place if something like that happened, if we get past December 31st?
Well, first off, seeing a limit move up on corn, it's been a while. Let's just put it that way. So, but let's just say that sort of scenario does occur. I would say that you would probably see some selling into it, but the real selling wouldn't show up until the first day after the limit move that we were down even a little bit. Then when you saw that first down day, you would probably see some active selling.
Well, basis continues to remain pretty strong in some areas, which is a telltale sign. Right now, the basis is doing a lot of the heavy lifting. And I keep talking to a lot of producers. I think there's still a lot of grain, not just corn, but there's still a lot of grain in farmers' hands right now that eventually will have to come to town. Speaking of going to town, what's the best way to find your town and where you're at?
Give us a ring, 888-452-8751.
All right, Eric, thank you very much. We'll talk to you again next week. Eric Osterhaus, Paragon Ag Advisors, Silver Lake, Kansas. We've got a whole lot more coming your way, so stay with us. We'll be back right after this.